Hello everyone, this is Maria Myrtle Ella Arvacular, and I'll be discussing to you the prioritization condition in your individual family case study in order to understand it in an easy way. So, first of all, here is the nature of the problem, the first criteria. The nature of the problem is the category of the problem. Category of the problem. And when we say category of the problem, we have subcategories. And we have health deficit, health deficit. We also have health threat, and we have foreseeable crisis. There. When we say health deficit, it talks about a situation where there is already a problem or condition. For example, our patient's family has a member who has diabetes mellitus or hypertension. There's already a problem or a condition. Now for health threat. Health threat is more on the exposure to a specific type of concentration of contaminated something that is harmful to the human health. In short, these are the risk factors. It can be environmental, or it has something to do with the lifestyle of the patient. Health threat is a threat to human health. There you go. The other one is the foreseeable crisis. Foreseeable crisis is the anticipated periods. These are the events that will result to a problem. Result into problem. An example for this is that when a child first enters school, especially the toddler ones. The toddler ones are susceptible to accidents. Child entering school for the first time, especially the toddlers. They are prone to accidents. Here we go. And that's the nature of the problem. Now let's talk about the modifiability of the problem. This one talks about the factors that has the greatest influence on the patient of the family. Greatest influence. And the success in enhancing the wellness state, improving the condition, minimizing, alleviating, or totally eradicating the problems through intervention is under the modifiability of the problem. We have here the problem, and then when you do something, there's an intervention, and with that intervention, we must have a positive result. The modifiability of the problem is the basis on how or the result that is going to happen. Now we have the preventive potential. Preventive potential is the prevention of the future reoccurrence. Prevention of the future reoccurrence of the problem. Of a problem. It talks more on the reoccurrence, or to do over again, or in our dialect, maulit. Okay, that's preventive potential. Now let's proceed with salience. Salience has something to do about the perception of the client about the problem. Perception of the family in this case, since it's a family case study. Perception of the family about the problem. Or condition. Here we have an example. The father of the family has a high blood pressure. Now, salience is the things that the family members or the family itself are doing in response to the high BP. For example, there's the maintenance of medications. It can also be the actions that the family is doing regarding that problem, or if they are knowledgeable about the condition. Most importantly, if they are aware that this is a problem. Now, salience is the reaction of the family towards the problem or condition, their perception. Now let's start with the steps in prioritization condition. We have here the conditions: the nature of the problem, modifiability, preventive potential, and salience. With this, we have the score: health deficit at 3, health threat as 2, foreseeable crisis as 1, easily modifiable as 2, partially modifiable as 1, not modifiable 0, high 3, moderate preventive 2, low preventive 1, salience high, moderate low, and low 2, 1, 0. Now we have also the weight. We have 1 for the nature, 2 for the modifiability, 1 for preventive potential, and 1 for salience. In scoring our prioritization condition, we must follow these steps. The first step would be to decide on a score for each criteria. We would base the score in this column. Now, we have an example. For example, family A has a family member who has diabetes mellitus. Now, diabetes mellitus is the condition or the problem. For the nature of the problem, since diabetes mellitus is a health deficit, we will score it as 3. As you can see here, health deficit is scored 3. Next is the modifiability of the problem. Let's say our score is partially modifiable, which is 1. 1. And then for preventive potential, let's say the score is 2. We will base the scores on the condition or how we assess the patient. Now, we have also the salience. Our score will be high, 2. There. We're done with the first step. Next, the next step is that we will divide the score by the highest possible score and multiply by the weight. Divide the score by the highest possible score and multiply it by the weight. There you go. In mathematical equation, it is like this: score over the highest score times the weight. There. The highest score is the highest score that can be seen in this table for each criteria. Now we are going to do the second step to the scores that we have given in the first step. Nature of the problem, modifiability, preventive potential, and salience. Nature of the problem, we scored 3, 1, 2, 2 respectively, and then we divide it by the highest number of score basing on the table. For nature of the problem, 3, modifiability 2, preventive potential 3, salience 2. There you go. Open and close parentheses. And then we multiply all of this by the weight times the weight. Nature of the problem here 1, 2, 1, 3. Nature of the problem 1, modifiability 2, preventive potential 1, and salience 1. Now let's compute. 3 divided by 3 times 1 is 1. 1. 1 divided by 2 times 2 is 0. No, it's 1. 1. 2 divided by 3 times 1 is 2/3 or 1.67. 0.67. 2 divided by 2 times 1 is 1. 1. We can do it in decimals or in fractions. We have here 1, 1, 2/3, and 1. Then after that, we add this we get the summation of our answers. 1 plus 1 plus 2 thirds plus 1 is 3 and 2 thirds. 1 plus 1 plus 0.67 plus 1 is 3.67. Now for the last step. The last step is that, number 3, we sum the scores just like we did before. Sum the scores and compare the scores to other problems or conditions. In doing this, we use a table. We have here table. Where we'll put the problems, and against the score that we've taken. For example, what we computed for diabetes mellitus, answer is 3.67 or 3 and 2 thirds. And then we also have, let's say, a foreseeable crisis toddler with the score of toddler child entering school. Let's say the score is 2 and 1/2. Yeah. There you go. So that's the end of our discussion for the prioritization condition for your individual family case study. Thank you and good luck.